Hello, everybody. I don't know how to do this when I'm by myself, but it's Front Office Friday. Let's go. We're late today. I had a lot going on today. Trevor has a lot going on as well. He is traveling. That's why he's not here. He may pop in. We'll see. Not entirely sure if he's going to be able to make it or not. But I'm here with you for at least probably 25, 30 minutes here. Trevor is on vacation, but you guys know Trevor doesn't really take vacations. That's why he's not here, but he may pop in anyway. We'll see. I don't really know, but we're going to see if he shows up. But otherwise, you got me for probably 25, 30 minutes or so. We'll ask a whole bunch of hopefully you'll ask a whole bunch of questions. I'll answer. I'm rocking the BC hat today because I picked up college football game today. I broke down. I'm a weak man. What can I say? I broke down and I bought the PS5 in the college football game, and it's great. I mean, I didn't play it a lot. I played it for only about an hour today, and I had a blast. So it was a lot of fun. But here we are. I'm gonna start off with this one from Menace. Says, "God bless the NBA front office show, making NBA media great again. We appreciate you. Thanks so much for those kind words. We're happy to have you here with us. Happy to be here on a Friday night with you all here. Let's see. There were a couple questions that came in really before we got fully cranked up and going. Let's see. Squid says, have an expansion question like always, with Adam Silver saying they are going to earnestly look into expansion in the fall. Does that mean they're going to do it, or is it getting our hopes up for nothing? No, they're going to expand. I mean, it's kind of the worst kept secret in the NBA right now is that they will expand. So that is going to happen. That'll probably happen. My guess is they'll start the process this fall, like Adam Silver said, but then really it'll probably be a minimum of a year or two of sorting out the process, putting everything together, taking all the bids, ultimately selecting the two teams, and then we'll probably get into it. So you're certainly not going to see a team start play next season, which would be the 25-26 season. We're already counting 24-25 as this season. So you won't see a team next season, maybe 26-27, but probably more likely like 27-28. And then that'd mean the expansion draft and all of the processes that go along with that would very likely happen in the summer of 2027. That is my guess. We'll see where it kind of comes with that from there. Let's see. I'm gonna continue to go through. Yeah, I'm home alone today, so it is what it is. We'll see if the if my buddy hops in here or not. He's busy. He's having some family time, well-earned family time. But family time was during the day, so we may see Trevor pop in at some point tonight, or we may not. We'll see. Front office show affected by the tech shutdown today? No, I just had a lot of stuff going on today. Not all NCAA football or college football, I guess, but it'll always be NCAA football to me. Wasn't all that. I didn't get into to that until later in the day. Had a lot of stuff going on. I had some work to do as well. We had a couple trades go down. We had the Russell Westbrook, Chris Dunn trade happen a couple days ago. Officially now, Chris Dunn is off to the LA Clippers. Russell Westbrook is off to the Nuggets with a stop in Utah again for another time. He's going to spend a little bit of time with the Jazz before ultimately getting waived there. So that's going on. And then today we had Zaire Williams get traded from the Memphis Grizzlies to the Brooklyn Nets. This was really for the Grizzlies to clear room under the luxury tax line to be able to re-sign Luke Kennard. They really wanted to bring him back, but they really want to avoid being a tax team. Don't be surprised if when they initially re-sign Kennard, if they're back over the luxury tax line, that may be a thing that happens for a little bit. And then they may ultimately in the end flip back and go back under the luxury tax. You don't need to be under at the start of the year. You just could be under by the end of the year. But really, it's the trade deadline because that's your last big opportunity to move some salary, and they've got a little bit more salary that they can move on from if they need to, including Mamadi Diakite, who's only partially guaranteed. He is didn't even really stay in Brooklyn very long. Moved on to the Grizzlies from the Nets after coming over in the Mikal Bridges trade. So that trade is now done as well. Jonathan, I don't know what you mean about the 2K cover. Someone's gonna have to fill me in. Oh, is it Jason Tatum's the cover guy? I think. Did I see that? There's like so many versions though. It feels like there was a version where somebody else was the cover athlete. I don't know. Let me know what that means. I'm not entirely sure. Started NCAA football. I got it fully loaded in to play. I played for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. Today I spent an hour total on getting everything set up, but that was it. From there, Andrew says, this is my Friday tradition. It's our Friday tradition too. We're going to try not to miss any Fridays. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it here, even though it's a little bit later. Troy says, Nets are going to have their first lottery pick since 2010. Couldn't this be a quick rebuild with 4 firsts and cap space next year? It certainly could be. They've got to get one of those I'm going to say top 5 picks. My top 5 going in right now are Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, and Nolan Traore. That order may adjust slightly as we go, but probably going to be Cooper Flagg at the top all the way through with that. But those 5 guys, I love those 5 guys. They would have been first on my board at any point in this draft coming up, or the draft we just had, rather. Obviously, they're top 5 in the draft coming up in 2025. And most teams around the NBA, I've talked to a lot of people who say, yeah, these guys are probably what would have been the top 5 picks in the draft this year as well. So the Nets got to land one of those picks. That's going to get them the guy they can probably hope can be their franchise player going forward. But yeah, they've got a bunch of cap space. The challenge with the cap space is it's not a great free agent class. It's actually an extremely weak free agents class. So we'll see with that where that goes from there. Let's see. Jermaine says, now that Summer League is coming to an end, who is your rookie of the year choice? That's a good question. A lot of times it's about opportunity more than anything else. And maybe occasionally, sometimes people do put team success as a factor on that. If a team, like if all things are equal, why not give it to the guy who's playing on a team that's maybe playing pretty good ball? For those reasons, it might be Reed Shepherd. I clearly not going to pick a rookie of the year until we get closer to the season when Trevor and I sit down here on Front Office Show and do our predictions for the awards and the standings and playoffs and all that stuff. But right now, I kind of feel like maybe Reed Shepherd could be the guy. Sky, do you think PJ Tucker gets waived or there's a trade for him? There's not going to be a trade where anybody trades for him as like PJ Tucker, the basketball player. Maybe he gets put into a trade where it's about his contract, but he looks like he's probably done at this point as a productive NBA player. And that means we're probably done, kind of seeing any teams want to trade for him for any other reason than contractual. And it may be one where the Clippers hang on to that contract and then move a little bit later down the line with that. Yeah, capture the flag does seem to be taking off a little bit there with that. So we'll see. With that, maybe we'll see. I've heard some other creative ones too, but capture the flag fits pretty good. Young Motivated Millionaires says, do you think LeBron gets the Vegas team because he's LeBron? That means he retires the year before the Vegas team is in the league. He's certainly seems like he's going to be a part of the Vegas team when it comes in. That seems very likely. It's pretty open secret. Vegas is going to get a team. But what I've heard is Vegas has like potentially 3 or 4 suitors for putting a team in Las Vegas. So it kind of depends on which group is LeBron a part of when that comes, and do they win the bid? Bidding is going to be get up there. They're expected to fetch $4 to $5 billion a piece for these expansion franchises. That's very early estimates on that too. So it may end up being 5 or more later. Part of it is it's not that that's necessarily the value, but part of it is you have to pay more because you're buying into the league, and you have to incent the owners to split everything 2 more ways. You're gonna take that pie, and instead of 30 slices, you're gonna have 32 slices coming in, maybe 34. We'll see. Adam Silver seemed kind of open to the idea of maybe more than 2 teams. We'll see what that looks like. I don't think it'd more than 2 in a given year, so it might be a staggered in kind of thing. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's pretty likely that LeBron, when he moves on, he'll retire and kind of go from there. I apologize. I don't want to cough in all your ears here. New mic, hopefully working good. Let me know if it's sounding good to y'all in the chat. There. Let's go, and I keep going here. Seth asks, am I going to live stream some college football games? I don't even know how to do that, so probably not. I kind of doubt it. Michael asks, will Pelicans make another trade? Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect out of the Pelicans, and if they'll make another trade or not. They're still looking at Brandon Ingram trades. David Griffin, though, came out and said it's a hard contract to trade. I think he called it mechanically impossible or something like that, that's overstating it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be. They're struggling to find a trade, so I'm just not sure that they're going to be able to pull that off. Ari, have you heard anything if Warriors will waive Spencer or Beekman for Quentin Post? I apologize. I have not. I haven't heard anything. The initial idea was they wanted to bring Post in on a standard contract. That was one of the things that was talked about at one point, but they don't have enough money under the hard cap at the first apron to do that right now. So that may still be one of these things that carries on for a little bit. My guess is it would probably be Spencer if they're going to waive one of the two. Beekman just got there, and it would be no, it's just not good process to bring a guy in and then turn around and waive him. Do you think Spurs might make offers to Ainge by Lowry? They have young players and picks. Maybe. It doesn't seem like they're super motivated to jump in on making a move like that. So I'm really not sure. I don't know if the Spurs are going to go that way or not. They could get involved, but I think they're being somewhat cautious now with the guys they have and just going to kind of keep it moving. Do you think the Nets getting Zaire, do you think they'll keep him? Yeah, I do. I think Zaire Williams is going to stick there. Sean Marks has done really good with these Flyers in the past where it has been, let me just get one of these guys in here and bring one of these guys in and then just kind of, see what happens. This is something that he hit on with a few guys during the previous rebuild, like the in between the Celtics trade and getting Kyrie and KD. He hit on a lot of guys. And I think what you're going to see from that bottom of that Nets roster, I think you're going to see a lot of churn. You may see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys flow through that roster over the course of this season to give them a chance to kind of bring in guys, get a look at him and see what it looks like. Guys, I'm going to grab a drink. Hold on 1 second for me. Stuff here without my partner because I don't have him to fill the airspace when I'm all on my own. Jay Sanchez says, do you think the NBA changes these apron stipulations in the future? It'd have to be collectively bargained. This is part of the CBA. This is something that the players and the teams agreed to were these apron restrictions on this. The number one that seems to be the most restrictive of all is the part where the teams that are at the first apron can only make trades that are 100% salary matching. So it has to be dollar for dollar, or you get hard capped at the first apron if you did a trade where you took back more than 100% salary matching. That seems to be the one that teams don't really like very much. So that's going to be one of the things that is maybe up for discussion. Now they can amend the CBA. They've done it in the past. One of the more famous examples of an amended CBA was during the COVID seasons. That obviously, was a unique circumstance that required all parties involved kind of coming to an agreement on how they made that season and the subsequent seasons that were impacted work. But you can amend the CBA. Occasionally they've gone back and tweaked other little things. I don't know that they will do this for the aprons, but maybe we'll see. I don't really know what to think about that. But it's certainly possible that they could do that. How do you feel about the new Clippers arena? It looks really cool. I hope to be able to get out there and check it out at some point for myself. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the idea of the almost straight, up, seating the wall they're calling it. And, I'm very curious to see how they do it with Clippers fans only in those seats and what that's all going to look like. But I'm excited. I mean, I think it's cool. And I think when they build these arenas for basketball, it just feels different. It feels better. Like I've talked here before that one of my favorite arenas is I think it's called Gainbridge Fieldhouse now in Indiana. But it was always just the Fieldhouse is what I've thought of it as. And that's what it feels like. It feels like an old school Fieldhouse where the whole idea there was we'll have other events here, but we're building this place for basketball. This is what we're building this arena for, and it's just super cool. It is such a great environment to go watch a game. It feels like the game is the most important thing. So I think that's we're really really good there. Let's see. I know there's a few people saying Bronny. Bronny's not going to win Rookie of the Year. With that, top 3 expansion teams out of the East. I don't really have one. I think the league needs to add West Coast teams to get a little bit more balance to the league. It's going to be Seattle and Las Vegas. I am 99.9 million repeating that it's going to be Seattle and Las Vegas, barring some major screw up by either city or the bidders in those cities. Then the question becomes where else could be on the table. With that, but that's where I am. I don't really have East teams. I guess if we're going to do anywhere close to an East team, Louisville seems to be like a city that really wants a team, and that's something I would really want that to go through because they've pushed. They had an ABA team. They've been pushing for expansion for years, so I think that may be. Hey, there he is. Welcome.
How's it going?
Happening? Look at our guy here showing up. On Front Office Friday. You missed the yell, but that's all right. Good, man. I'm glad you're here. I was struggling. I was like, how do I get a drink when like it's just me?
You'll get there. You got to just keep talking.
I know. I just got to power through, right? It was going to get rough. I was getting real dry throat there for a minute.
Did you do the yell?
See. I did the yell. Yeah, absolutely. I did the
Did you just start up? Like, how did you do it?
I said, I don't know how to start this. So it's Front Office Friday. Let's see. We're just flying through questions, my man.
Let's do
it. Jonathan Vita, how do you feel about the Magic's moves this offseason? I just wrote an article for Spot Track where I put likes and dislikes or incompletes or I don't know, the little shruggy guy emoji on what are these teams doing. So I put all that out there for all of this with just for each team. Spoiler for the Magic, I liked their offseason moves. Getting Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I thought was great for them. They essentially replaced Markelle Fultz with Caldwell-Pope, which is an upgrade for a team that needed more shooting. They get another really great defender in the backcourt to go with Jalen Suggs. They're going to make life really difficult on opposing ball handlers all season. And then kind of the rest of it was re-signing their own guys and bringing them all back on pretty good contracts. So I think the Magic had a good offseason.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're ready to make that next step in the Eastern Conference. I'm not putting them, and I know we did our tiers, what was it last week? I'm not putting them up with the Knicks. I'm not putting them up with the Celtics, of course, not putting them up with Philly, but I think they're in that tier right below for right now with the potential, I think, to make a move up further. in the standings here. So I think they can get up to that next year, but it's going to take some organic growth from a few of their players, guys like Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner. These guys have got to continue to grow and develop as players, and I think they'll get there. But for now, I think the KCP addition is big, and that's going to help them stabilize things. I think now you're going to see them be a perennial playoff team. That's going to be their floor from here for the next, foreseeable future here, with the potential to really burst into that maybe title contender tier if they continue to get growth from some of these young guys. And let's not forget Jalen Suggs, one of my favorite players in the NBA to watch because he is everywhere all at once. It's like the man can teleport. It's so much fun.
Yeah, they're a fun team, man. It's in talk about a team that kind of there's no right way to build a team, but they did it the old school way of bottom out, build it up, they kind of go forward from there. So yeah, I'm really excited for what they have done there. Let's see, we'll go to the next one here. Kellen says, is there anything that would prevent a current owner from purchasing one of the expansion teams? Yeah, you can't own two teams. So that would be that would be it there. They'd have to sell their interest in the first team before even beginning the bidding process on this. Trevor, this is a question for you, I imagine.
The Lakers, yeah, Sean's going to do the Lakers game tomorrow night against the Bulls, and he's going to do Team USA playing tomorrow as well. I'll be traveling in the air, fingers crossed, hopefully, given everything that went on today with the computer systems and all of that. We've been a little nervous about that, so we're getting to the airport super early tomorrow. But I've been at my in-laws' place for the last couple of days here, and then tomorrow I officially start vacation, and heading down to Florida. I'm going to go jump on a cruise ship, so we'll see.
Yeah. And hopefully that'll be it. You won't hear from Trevor for several days. You need to rest and go.
We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay away. We'll find out. You may get a video.
Yeah, we'll see, right? Well, hopefully you get out of here. Yeah, true. Hopefully the big thing is you even get out of here. That's the main thing we're looking for here. All right, let's go to this one from Mr. Easley. What are the chances St. Louis gets a team in the future? They haven't really been too overly mentioned. They're a team that I think city rather, I should say, that a lot of people bring up because it's kind of right smack in the middle of the country. Them and Kansas City is another one that gets brought up. They're kind of more like in these other cities. So there's several other cities ahead of them potentially for expansion before I think they would go that direction. But I mean, it's certainly possible. I think that's one that is the only thing that scares Celtics fans with Jason Tatum is that he would be like, I'm out, I'm going home to play in St. Louis because he clearly loves St. Louis. That's home and always will be for him. So that's the only thing is I think they're like, all right, maybe when he's in year 17 or 18, they can come in the league and he can go play there then. The other half of your question, do you think they'll try and fix the CBA in the future? I don't know that there's anything actually wrong with it. It's doing what it was intended to do. There are things that teams have. We always talk about this, right, Trevor? Unintended consequences.
Yep.
There's definitely been some. Teams are going to figure this out a little bit. They're going to figure it out and work through it. But for now, it is a lot of this stuff is working the way they wanted. And you got to give it a couple years because there are things that happen this summer. Maybe will be a little bit different next summer. I'll also say this. All these teams that are saying, well, it was the apron and the second apron and the hard caps, and that's why we didn't do these things. Some of those things have existed for years and years and years, and some of it's just teams making excuses for the reason they didn't do some of this stuff. It really is. It's kind of shameful, in a way on that. So yeah, it's just that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I do think that the CBA is always going to be tinkered with, right? Whenever there's going to be a new round of negotiations, I think trading has been restricted a bit too much. I thought that when it came out, you're right, Keith. I think to some degree teams will lean upon that as a crutch or an excuse for why they didn't do certain things. But I do look at, and we talked about this months ago, the NBA, the dominance they enjoy in social media, and questioned whether they were going too far and whether that might actually hinder their dominance in that space because we're now going to see less trades. I mean, just look back over the last few years and look at how many trades got done, and then look at how many of them would not be possible under the new CBA. That's
Yep.
concerning to me. I do think they went a little bit too far with trade restrictions. Understand? I just think it was a little bit of an overcorrection. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see that relaxed a little bit. But again, that they're going to give time to see the effects of everything that's happened. Look, Klay Thompson, Paul George, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, they're all on their previous teams. They're all staying with their previous teams under the old CBA. New
Yep.
CBA is all
Yeah.
about redistributing talent. So in that way, it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it a little bit. I think that's the one, is that it's that 100% salary match with the hard cap at the first apron,
Yeah.
or you can't do more than that if you're already over. That's where it went too far. 16 teams right now are hard capped at least at the first apron. There's a handful that are hard capped at 16 total teams are hard capped. Most of those teams are hard capped at the first apron. That's the correct way to phrase that. So yeah, it's a little tough, right? Well, we'll see with this one here. All right, we'll do a couple more, guys, and then we're gonna call it a night here. Let's see. Do you watch the TBT basketball? Yeah, I usually throw it on at some point. Usually, I don't know how much I'll watch it this summer because we have the Olympics, and then the Olympics are going to carry us almost directly to training camp. But normally in the summertime, yeah, by that point, I'm like, give me any basketball that I can find, and I'm happy to throw it on during the day. And it's usually pretty good, pretty competitive. Wild Trevor appears with that. Can Ballmer buy Las Vegas? No, we already talked. He can't buy a second team. That would not be allowed. Okay. I like this one from Jermaine. Who is one team that didn't make the playoffs last year you think will make it this year? I have my easy pick.
Yeah, Memphis, right?
Yep, Memphis. Yep.
That's the easy one.
Memphis might be a top 3 seed in the West next season.
Are we looking at playoffs or play in? Are we including play in this?
I went playoffs because I think Memphis makes the playoffs too.
No. I mean, when we're looking at, let's say because I think Memphis is the easy answer and the correct answer. But if we omit Memphis, are we only accepting teams that made? Are we accepting teams that made the play in this past year as an answer?
Yeah, I think it's were you in the top 8, right?
Okay.
I think that's how I would like. That's how
I voiced my support for Sacramento. I think Sacramento makes a leap this year.
Yep.
The team like outside of it all that I think aside from Memphis that could really make a jump up in Houston. That's another team that I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I said this today, and the radio spot I did, the guys were like, really? And then they came back and the guy was like, he goes, that's like, it was like 10 minutes later. He's like, since you said that, this has stuck with me. And I said, I don't know that any team will add, and I'm very much putting add in quotations, 2 better players than John Morant and Desmond Bane. Than what the group, right? Nobody added 2 better players than those 2 guys this summer. So that's kind of the difference there. Let's see. Just kind of running through here. Last few. Ashir, any updates on the Vezenkov situation? No, nothing. It's gone all completely quiet with that. To the point where I thought we were going to get something because Masai said, yeah, maybe in a few days, and then we didn't. So I don't know what to make of that there. And then let's see. Do you think Ben Simmons, Dennis Schroeder, or somebody not on the roster will start at point guard for the Nets next season? Do you mean like this upcoming season or the season after? Because the season after, someone not on the roster. This upcoming season, yeah, probably Schroeder would be my guess.
Yep.
Right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's going to wind up being Schroeder. Now, I will say, as the season goes on, I bet there's going to be a number of different players that start for a minimum of a game at the point guard position, because I have a feeling we could see the Nets churn through a number of different players as trades and things come up. I think probably not to the same degree as the Memphis Grizzlies, but you think about the Grizzlies this past season, how many different players when they had their kind of tanking season that they were forced into, how many players they rotated through to give guys shots, give guys a look, wouldn't surprise me to see the Nets do something like that. But again, with some moves coming midseason.
Do you remember how many it was that played in a game
How
for
many
Memphis
different point
last
guards
year?
they had?
No, just different players that Memphis had playing a game last year.
Oh, wasn't it was in the third? Wasn't it like 35 or something?
33. Yeah.
30. I knew it was something
33
like that.
different guys played, and the lowest amount of games played was 3. Old friend Shaq Harrison, who's been on a lot of different teams at this point.
Bunch of teams.
Yeah. 33 different guys appeared in at
Whew.
least 3 games for Memphis last season. The high in games for them was Jaren Jackson Jr. with 66. So that
Unreal.
is brutal. There. Let's see. Old man Trevor and old man Keith are so ancient they were alive to experience Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan play on the Dream Team at the 1992 Olympics. Hell yeah, I was. That's why they're on the wall behind me. That's my favorite team of all time. Like it was so great. Like I've talked about it before already on here. I don't need to like
Yeah,
continue
that
going,
team was
but
awesome. That was a magical time, and it was a time before the internet really was a
yes.
thing, and
Yep.
it was glorious. It was glorious.
I think I had 5 jerseys too back then, because that's when like all I wore was like basketball jerseys, all like fall, summer, and spring. And I think I had 5 Team USA jerseys. I had
Wow.
Bird, I had Patrick Ewing, I had Scottie Pippen, Chris Mullin, and Barkley. It's give me the Dream Team all day long.
McDonald's did a promo with the hats, and
Yes.
I remember I got the hats.
Yep.
I had a bunch of
and then
Dream
the
Team
cups
hats.
too. Remember the cups?
Oh yeah,
that you could get?
The cups were awesome.
Yep. I don't think the cups made it. Those probably got lost along the way somewhere. There was probably one of those things where like the cups got used for other stuff, and then all kinds of other things. All right, we'll end on this one. Who has the best chance of beating Team USA? Canada, probably.
Canada, but they just beat
France?
up on Canada.
Yeah.
But Canada you got a number of guys that could get hot there for Canada, and then France I think is the other one.
Yeah. Those are the two for me. I don't think anybody else has enough depth or defense to slow them down enough with that. Maybe somebody can really get it into like a real rock fight, play really slow, try to really mess it up, really ugly the game up with that. But yeah, I mean, somebody just said Serbia, and like they crushed Serbia when they went to the bench. Like that was the problem. Like some of these teams too, they're missing some of their NBA guys. In this tournament, so that hurts, because that's the biggest difference, right? Is they can compete starting 5 with starting 5. It's when Team USA gets into their bench against other teams' bench units. That's when it just goes the other way. So it's there. Germany? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
They beat the US, the different US team, but
Morocco.
Yes, we're finally in the same time zone. And Keith, I've caught myself a few times just in conversations with different people correcting the time zone and then realizing, oh no, wait, I don't need to correct the time zone. It's been an adjustment.
I love it. Yeah, it is tough. Probably better than a lot of other people too from our time in Las Vegas. I don't do time changes very well because like I get out to Las Vegas and I want to go to bed at like 7:30 and everybody else is like time for dinner. And I'm like, not there with that. So
no,
I don't. Costa Rica's not in the Olympics either. I think talking about football, like soccer football. Yeah, I don't know. But all right, guys. Well, it was a quick one tonight. Trevor, thanks for popping in and hanging out with us. We didn't want to miss a Friday. Wanted to get it in. Like I told you all earlier, I had a million things going on earlier in the day today, including Trevor. I did get the PS5 and I did get college football. So that was not what I was doing, but that's about to be what I'm doing for probably that's way longer than I should be tonight. It could be, yeah. It's definitely part of it there. With that, somebody thought we were going to summer league. We not this year, not for either of us. Did make it. Next year we'll be out there. Next year we'll try to set up something where we can do a meet and greet or something with people come out there. We'll figure out something to do with everybody here. But guys, we appreciate the support. It's been great. Continue to look forward next week, and hopefully Trevor is off in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
That's
But
right.
I'll continue to do some shows. I'll probably do the live shows again. We'll mix them up. Maybe some during the day, maybe some in the evening. I've got some stuff going on next week in my personal life that's going to keep me away during the day. So we may do evening shows, but we'll figure something out. We'll definitely get some shows up and come to you guys and kind of go from there. I don't know what DP3 is.
Deadpool 3.
Oh, yeah. I do have those. That's locked in for next Friday. Front office Friday next week will definitely be later in the day. I can tell you that. Because I will be at Deadpool at our kind of normal noon Eastern-ish time for that.
I've got to get back home first for my trip. Then I'll get my tickets. And my daughter's young enough to where we're gonna need to get a babysitter in order to go see this. So because she's not gonna be able to see that. But yes,
yeah,
it's
I
going
can
to
pull
happen.
off taking mine. She's 14, so she's old enough to handle it and and have fun with it. Your daughter's a little too young for that one.
Yeah, that would not work out.
All right, everybody. Thanks. Go ahead, Trevor.
Thanks,
Sign us
everybody.
off.
Well, till next time. See ya and stay safe.